Drop your weapon. All right, man. Load your weapon. Here they come again. Take that, you rebels.
Oh.
All right, men. Load your weapons. All right, men. Load your weapons.
How did you make that sound? Do it again. Do it again.
Drop your weapons. Orders received.
Ah. How's it? Hang loose. Welcome to Mangas Max Hawaii, the channel. This is the 20th, June 20th, and it's Sunday, and we have the big Sunday paper, so I shouldn't be wasting too much time. But we got Mr. Yeti, Bigfoot. I mean, it's more like big. Well, Yetis are tall, you know, right? And the Yeti was really big. Its shoulders went across like this. It must have been 800 pounds and 9 feet tall. And it was hairy all over. And boy, you should have seen its blackout microphone. I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff in the news. It is kind of nutsy, but the main story here for today, which is kind of all over the television news, is well, we have to say a sad farewell to Robert Kekaula. That's right, it is. Robert Kekaula. You notice the Padre Felipe Sancte, please don't haunt me. No, rest in peace, honestly. You know, when I seen this guy, he was like the big Hawaiian newscaster kind, you know, and he'd speak a little pidgin. He'd kind of stick it in there. So it was like great. I thought that was great. He'd wear aloha shirts. So he's always wearing, not like the tie. Look at that tie, it's too formal. You know, in honor him, the newscaster today, the guy, he's like, he didn't have a tie on. I'm like, okay, he's finally getting relaxed in the suit and tie. And he didn't have the tie on. Looks like he just took off his tie. But he's like, I wore this aloha shirt underneath the jacket in honor of Robert Kekaula. And it's not even an aloha shirt, I don't think. That's not an aloha shirt. Anyhow, he always with aloha shirts, and I go up and I see him like 6 o'clock news or whatever the kind. You'd see him on the news, and he'd do the sports. He's always doing the sports. So I just thought he was the big guy doing the sports. And then he was like on the cable doing the sports. I'm like, wow, this is the guy doing the sports. But he had a lot of stuff. He was doing that stuff for 30 years. He built up from the bottom up, and then did the stuff, and now he's doing the stuff. And 56 years old. And he died. I think it was because of his weight. No one said something. No one said nothing. Just like dangerous to get swang. I'm like, shit, man, we'll do some, man. And they're like, oh, you know, he'd always say stuff. He'd make interviews and say the biting words, but sometimes, you know, like he'd ask the tough questions. But you know, this is the kind of old Hawaiian guy. That's just the style, man. That's the tough questions. Even the governor, right? The governor, he did this interview, and he did 20 questions, rapid fire 20 questions, and the governor's remembrance of Robert Kekaula. Getting his name wrong. That would be terrible. But he's remember the governor, Ige, he's remembering his interview, and he goes, you know how to ask the good questions. And then the governor talks a lot like this. They got, hi, my name's Dave. My name's, hello there, people. He would know how to ask the good questions, and then he would ask a question that's not so good. Yeah, I'm going to work on that because it's, and then we're going to look at these things. A little like that. So anyhow, God rest your soul, the peace and ohana and the aloha of aloha. He's like, aloha is every day. And he's all into the sports. He was you could tell he's a good guy. I don't know, listen to the news. He'd come and do the sports, and it's like, yeah, man. You just want to, you're comfortable listening because he had that Hawaiian thingy going. Okay. This is, God rest your soul, newspaper! All right, today we're going to look at what's in the newspaper. Oh! Okay. So now there's a tribute. Now it's like going to be super whatever now. Shoot. Dang it, man. I got to do these shorter. Coming up on our... It's not today. I thought it was today. Mongoose Meg's milestone day. Snatch day. I double checked. Okay. The news is... I got so many lights now. I'm like over mic'd and over lit. Add some more lumens. Honestly, I'm prematurely blind now. Blinder than I am already blind. Blind, bald, fat and old. Arg. Mongoose Max carries on. And this is headline. Oh wait, you know what? Without the glasses, charming. Okay. I blew that one, didn't I? That was going to be hard to edit. Anyways, on with the show. The show must go on. And even when it says, oh, crime rate on Oahu fell amid pandemic. Well, duh. Because they're at home doing drugs. And then when there's no targets, there's no targets of crime. How are you going to rob the little old lady? And the little old lady's right at home. Yeah, then they started opening up, and then crime rates went up. That they don't. We're not going to talk about the bad stuff. It's not good. Don't talk about it. Not good. Urban Renewal, Kamehameha School envisions phased development of Kapalama. Kamehameha Schools has a lot of land, like Bishop Estate had a lot of land. It was bequeathed by Queen Liliuokalani, the last reigning monarch in the state. What is now the state of Hawaii used to be the Kingdom of Hawaii. It's no longer a Kingdom of Hawaii. I know the sovereigntists out there. And so they're going to develop land. So now they're just like playing big business. They're playing big landowner, trying to make big bucks, going like homeless housing, affordable housing. And they're just raking in big money. Selling really expensive land. It was like all given trust by Liliuokalani. All right, let's see what's going on here. Back in the day, 1971, campers at Makapu Beach, Makapu is the summer's here, and all the roads lead to where living is easier, especially if you have 5 mattresses. So here's like what is freaking 50s Studebaker looking thing with 5 mattresses and the guy sitting on top. And there's all the campers out there. Man, they've been camping out there in Makapu rolls. Then when they try to get them going away for squatting, hey, it's a Hawaiian homeland. Okay. Yeah, the beat goes on. It's always been like that. It's just been like that. And it's Gay Pride Month. Kind of thought I guess I forgot about that. About Jubilee yesterday. June Jubilee. I don't know. and all this stuff going on. We forgot about the Gay Pride Month now. And so now we got a truck driver who drove into a crowd. I'm like laughing, not because of but drove into the crowd of gay people. I was just kind of trying to imagine this gay pride thing going on, and this guy's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, you go, girl, I'm gone. All this kind of thing, and but one person died. Oh my God! So they got some guy just going crazy. The storm that was off the coast in the Gulf has landed, and apparently it's pretty big. At least they're reporting tornadoes. I've been in Tornado Alley 5 years, at the southern part of Tornado Alley in northern Texas there, just north of Dallas. And I've seen the stuff. You just go a little bit further north and it's severe. It's like Oklahoma. It's like, watch out, it's flat land. Things go by and they'll just freaking destroy, but there's nothing in Oklahoma. So, I don't know, a few cowboys in an Indian casino. And nowadays. in Texas, they're like, oh, but they're just used to this heavy wind thing. So I'm sure, I don't know, I'd investigate. I don't believe his tornado. No, it went through and hit a trailer park. I try not to be cliche there. I can't do this with that microphone, but this one's the better. Yes, you're the Yeti Baby. Oh yeah. You can build my groin in Waikiki. Supreme Leader wins allies, votes for president. Oh, the Supreme Leader is in Iran, okay? Iran, not so far away. No, it is far away. It's on the other side of the world. Anyways, Iran used to have the Ayatollah Khomeini. Remember Ayatollah Khomeini? Oh, I am God on earth and I am your Supreme Leader, also the leader of the country. It's like when religion, and I think they're Sunni Muslim, is a religion, and so he's the Caliphate. The religion and the leader, it's like if the president was Pope, okay? To get both, you know, and that's why they separate church and state. In this case, it's the opposite of separation of church and state. And Ayatollah Khomeini, he would go up on the balcony and was like, oh, like C-3PO came out and there was Ewoks. And so Ayatollah, and it was kind of bad news, all right? So to preserve his ultra-right conservative remains of his group, his party, ultra-right conservative, they call it ultra-conservative, you know. They fixed an election, so half the people didn't go vote. And next thing you know, my pillow. Jesus. All right. Okay. We don't want to go too much on this. Jupiter exploration. Okay, they sent out this thing to Jupiter like 2016 and 19 back in the day. I'm old too. Shoots, the guy died. And it's gonna get 4 years for like whatever extra orbits. 42 more orbits. 42 more orbits. So it's gonna do. So here's Jupiter getting some cool ass pictures. That's the southern and that's the northern hemisphere. So basically it's kind of like Jupiter summertime with the big red spot, and then there's Jupiter on the north wintertime. There's 8 freaking storms here, and there's I think 5 here. So it's 5 storms here, these round dots, and 8 of the northern thing. Now these storms are like huge. Okay, this storm, like this little dot right there, think of like a hurricane that's always going. It never stops. Always going. And it's about, I don't know how many times bigger than the Earth. The Earth wouldn't be a speck. I don't know how many times, but it's like one giant hurricane. Anyway, so that's interesting stuff, isn't it? So you don't have to think about the stuff in the news. I'm going to tell you about stuff in the news. Oh God. Quickly. I had to check the time. My green light's back, but it's not that bright. I don't know what's happening. I think it's my other lighting is overpowering it. This lady slept in the tent for 3 times, 3 days. It's the Honolulu project for the homeless, eh? She goes, oh, I'm gonna sleep in the tent. I'll give it a good evaluation. She's like, oh God, hot shower afterwards. You ever go camping or you go camping? You know, I did Boy Scouts. That was the best part, camping. You were in uniform and all that. making a fire, setting up the tent, go camp out. Trustworthy, loyal. Anyways, on our way. Big Q, which is, what do you think of Juneteenth, the new federal holiday being celebrated today, June 19th? So this is yesterday's question, of course. My first impression was, oh, whoa! It's actually it's a brand new federal holiday. I just celebrated first for that. It's like, we got a new federal holiday. Whoa! The mail doesn't come. The post guys in Grails, if we have a postwoman, they get the day off. I thought it was like a big Black Lives Matter kind of, or big. I don't know. It was like Black History Month at one point, sometime back in February. And, The Watchmen, there is the movie, there's the television series, the HBO type Watchmen series. And I watched that, and they portrayed the 1920 Oklahoma massacre, and I thought they were making that up. So there's parts of history that I did not know, and I did not know that Union General Granger had to go down and say, okay, you guys, takes these, hey, the war's been over for a few years now. It's time to wise up. Let all the slaves are free. And they're like, whoa. Actually, I heard that the slaves, once they're free, they're like, they didn't have anywhere to go. So it's kind of makes a huge predicament. Oh, back to the queue. What do you think? 42%, 24%. Great. Should be both federal and state holiday. Yeah. Make it holiday. 42% fine as federal holiday state observance. Fine as federal holiday state observance. 34%. What's Juneteenth? Yeah, that's where I was. Okay. There's like almost thinking the sports, nothing, except like golfers and things like that. So insight. This is where we have the stuff, travel, Sudoku, ton of Sudoku. Big gay pride thing in this guy's story. Some of it. Hey, parasailing. I'm a loony. Okay, it starts off, my journey to pride after heterosexual marriage. So he's a straight married guy, and then he's to pride. I don't think that's the guy in the photo, though. My Journey to Pride by Charles M. Blow. I saw you, Snicker. Okay. Oh, God, this is this whole story, so I don't know. It's kind of boring. Oh, gosh, what are we doing? Watch out for that truck! Some loony driving a truck into a crowd in Florida. Political cartoon. You're the greatest, Dad. Happy Father's Day. I was gonna think they're in a shoe. Oh yeah, like mother, whatever that children's story. Mother Goose, and then there's a mother in the shoe. Something. Happy Father's Day. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of economy. They're like the kids trying to fill their dad's shoe. Oh, sorry, wrong reference. My apologies. This is gonna get old fast, right? Okay, I was gonna put this up in Latin, Father's Day, but it comes out Patris tui dies. Yes, dies is Latin for day. Patris tui dies. That's okay. My dad's been dead for, I don't know, 7 years. Miss him. He was a good guy. He really was. I mean, seriously, I'm not just saying that because I'm one of his 3 sons. 3 daughters, 3 sons. He was a consummate worker, 9 to 5 for the federal government and federal aviation, navigating, air control, traffic cops for the airplanes so they don't crash into each other for like most of his life. And then towards the later end, he was into the computer things and the highway in the sky, if the shuttle comes down over the Pacific, blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff. And he was inside Diamond Head Crater a lot, and then up at Hickam. But he got that job in Chicago O'Hare Airport first, got transferred over here. That's why we all moved over to Hawaii, like the Brady Bunch. When I was I I went to first grade here. It's the story of my goose snacks going to first grade in a new state. Why doesn't everybody like me? Where is everybody? I went home from school that after that going, I'm never going to school ever again. Like that to my mom. I thought that would work. Who's to know later on? I have a teaching degree. Fate. Never say stuff like that. It comes back. Anyways, yeah, my dad, he was a fighter pilot for P-51s in Korean War. So I just want to shout out to father's memory. We said dad. We didn't go papa or nothing. Okay, letters to the editor. Don't let anti-vaxxers restrict rest of us. Apparently, I'm going to do this just slightly because it's Yeti. And yet, just not too close. I bet you heard that. Don't let anti-vaxxers restrict the rest of us. Apparently, those who are not vaccinated at this time are simply choosing not to get it. It is readily available and free. A return to relative normality should not be held hostage by those who choose not to get vaccinated. It is their right not to get it. With that, they are making a conscious choice and are, in my mind, willing to take on the risks. We, the vaccinated, in order to secure a more perfect union, we, the vaccinated, should not have to continue sacrifice for them. We have paid a heavy price through this. It is time to stop perpetuating or creating policy for the minority by choice. The pull strategy isn't working. It's time for the push. Push, push. Oop, that's not working either. Time for the push. Set a state to fully reopen to stimulate the procrastinating willing and maybe those who are on the fence to act. Then we can all resume a slightly different normal life that comes with risks of our choices. William Muneno Manoa. Yeah, thank you for your letter. I don't think that's just going to work. We're going to set a date to open. People are just going, oh shoots. Just wait a little while and it's going to be all reopened. That's not a push. I think the push is, I don't know, I think they're doing better with incentive. You attract more flies with honey. Don't blame bars for Waikiki stabbings. Regarding recent stabbings in Waikiki, cite Article 26. City Council Chairman Tommy Waters and Mufi Hanneman, President and CEO of Hawaii Lodging and Tourist Association, called out the boogeyman. Calling you out. Hello, you still there? I don't mean to play favorites, but the boogeyman, 4 a.m. liquor license as culpable in these crimes. Under the COVID-19 restrictions, no bars are open until 4 a.m. Bars must close by midnight. Only 2 4 a.m. licenses remain in Waikiki. How are they to blame? Where are the 4 a.m. bars in the area of the stabbings? Sounds like one guy arguing it. Where the bars? They never saw good going in. No, they were closer to the Waikiki police station. Would that infer the police are responsible? Give a full and active police force the power to return our business communities to safe places. Eliminate the homeless. Drug-oriented and youth gang presence occupying those revenue-producing areas by effective loitering, curfew, and regional restrictions, and use sufficient police to deter crime. All agenda items at Mufi Hanneman's 2018 Visitor Public Safety Conference. Any changes by government? No. Just blame the boogeyman. Bill Comerford, Hawaii Bar Association. Someone said special interest group as one word. It looks like special interest. It's special interest group. Okay, and there's this big thing about this guy, and he's like a friggin'... There we go. Stop supporting Duante's crime. Our tax dollars are helping to pay for murder abductions, jailings, and human rights abuses in the Philippines under the rule of President Rodrigo Duterte. This after U.S. Congress, the Philippine human rights. Okay, so I'm going to just sum up. They paid our tax dollars $213 million to this Duarte guy. He's like effectively eliminated permanently 30,000 individuals since 2016. So support PHIR Don Wittek, Kamehameha Heights. Yep. I'm just citing that so everyone can know about that. Yeah. Don't pay the Filipino freaking killer dictator. Anyways, that's it. Have a happy Sunday. R.I.P. Robert K. Kaula. Maybe we kind of will miss him. The weather lady lost it. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss again," crying. It was like, telling the weather. Oh. I know. When you lose someone that's actually close to you, I understand the power of grief and how deep that is. I ain't making light of that. Well, Miss K. Kaula. He was a guy. He was a shaka guy, a law guy. Anyways, take care. Hey, loose. What go wrong?
Pepah is coming your way. Who's in the pen? Ask me some good questions. Ask me a good one. Wax on. Wax off.
Who's in the tent?
Ask me some good questions. Ask me a good one. Wax on, wax off.
People in this country suffer from some